Jaya Jaya Madhava Taruni Dari Navasasi leke Lalita Sakti Guna Ravita Vishake Vishanu Dari Navasasi leke Vishabhanu Dadi Navasasi leke Lalita Sakti Guna Ramita Vishake Jaya Jaya Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanako Shano Kano Vanita Charite Karuna Bharite Vanita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare YouTube. Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. What's that mean?
So you got a YouTube link you can share. You go the details if someone wants to log in and on Zoom. So yeah.
Okay.
That?
Yeah. So. Okay.
I don't know if I have it.
Who do I share it with?
Can you share it across whoever wants?
Can you share it to me?
Okay.
You
Just
go,
send me that
you send
message.
Okay.
You send it right to your friends.
It's asking.
I did it.
It's asking for a password. For this.
And the password is 108.
1080 108.
Yeah. 108. What was it? And then
0108.
So just remember now, these videos are started already.
Yeah, the YouTube started.
Yeah, so whatever you say, it will be on YouTube forever.
okay. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sujinda Swami Ki. Okay.
Australian dude, Indian dude. There's lots of ethnicities.
Okay.
Give me a kiss.
Yeah.
Has the video officially started?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
So Damodar, would you like to keep doing kirtan? While we still?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Let me quickly send this
Just I'll do it. You do kirtan. Or Ishan sing.
I'm not sing, I just need to send this to my family.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Rainbow.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Yeah, it's good to see all of you. I can actually see all of you by modern technology. It's almost like Vapu, almost like being together. Well, we are together, obviously, on this very, very special day, and we've invited others to and join us as well. And I think we'll begin by, well, I'll give a lecture a little later on, because that's customary. But I think we'll just do all the little rituals first to establish an air of auspiciousness to an already auspicious ceremony. So Rohini, we would like you, well, we'll do the Ajmaniam ceremony first. And I discussed this a little bit with Rohini earlier. You have your Ajman cup there, I see. So I'd like you to, we'll go through the procedure. You'll take 3 drops of water and you'll put it in your hand. You don't do it yet. You put 3 drops of water in your hand. You'll look at it and you'll say Om Keshavaya Namaha. Then you'll sip it. And then after that, you put 3 more drops on your hand and throw it to the side. So we'll do that 3 times with 3 different names of Krishna. But first, we're going to chant a mantra from the Garuda Purana, and then you'll do that particular ritual. So first of all, let me begin by offering my obeisances to our beloved Srila Prabhupada before anything else. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishdaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pratara Srila Prabhupada ki. So everyone can please repeat after me. Om Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Atopiva Ya Smaret Pundarikaksham Sa Baya Bayantara Suchi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. Okay, Rohini, now you take the 3 drops of water into your right hand. Then you look at the water and say, Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Sip it. And then put 1 more drop in your right hand and throw it to the side. Okay, so we're going to chant the mantra again. Everyone please repeat. Om Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatopiva Ya Smaret Pundarikaksham Sa Baya Bayantara Suchi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. Okay, so this time, same thing, you put 3 drops in the right hand, you look at the water, and this time you say, Om Narayanaya Namaha.
Om Narayanaya Namaha.
Okay, and then 3 drops again and push it to the side. 1 more time. Om Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatopiva Ya Smaret Pundarikaksham Sa Baya Bayantara Suchi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. Okay, 3 more drops in the right hand, Rohini. And this time you say, Om Madhavaya Namaha.
Om Madhavaya Namaha.
A little help from your friends there. Okay. All right, very good. So let me just read the translation. This is from Garuda Purana. Either pure or impure, or having passed through all conditions of material life. If one can remember the lotus-eyed Krishna, he becomes externally and internally cleansed. So now our hearts have all been cleansed by this transcendental sound vibration. So in that purified state, you can put on your new neck beads. Maybe mom can help you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama. Very auspicious.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Very nice. Okay, good. So now, Damodar, do we have a garland for her?
Yes.
Put on a garland for the new initiate on your spiritual birthday. Actually, your material birthday is not far away, right? It comes on, I think, Balaram's parents' day, right? Wow.
This year is different, but yes.
Uh-huh. Well, now I get my garland too. There we go.
We're gonna get yours too.
We should garland your mom and dad too. They did all the work.
Just take it. Just take
Which one
it.
should we give Heaney? Which
Oh, that one. That was rather nice.
Okay.
go over and Haribo.
Haribo.
Vivo. Very nice.
Clumsy mother.
You look very happy, Rohini, a little nervous. That's okay. We're all nervous on our initiation day. I see Mother Sitala is with us as well. Very well, Sitala. So,
Put it on the TV. Marge, we're putting this one at your.
okay, all right, thank you. Ooh, it's cool, that garland. I think it's winter time down there here. Here it's about 35 degrees. It's got the AC on. Papa gets one too. So I guess Oma Gyantimirandasya Ginangana Shalakaya Chaksunimilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Officially, I'd like to welcome everyone to this very, very auspicious ceremony that we've all been hankering for a long time, where we're accepting Rohini as our duly initiated disciple. And we all know how important this ceremony is, not only for Rohini, but for Damodar and for Radhapriya and Lalita. I see Narottam there, Radheya, Leela Smarana, if he's looking in, our little Mira, Akura, and Gandhabasi, of course, from her transcendental viewpoint, Vrindavani, all of Rohini's friends, the Polish tour devotees, they're also looking in, members of the new Govardhan community, and I think the list goes on because Rohini's a very popular devotee in our movement for many reasons. This initiation ceremony is very joyful. You can see everyone smiling, and there's flower garlands, and Damodar was leading a beautiful bhajan glorifying Srimati Radharani, and later we'll dance, and I know that Radha Priya was cooking a feast because I tried to contact her all morning and she wasn't answering because she was cooking the feast. Everyone's excited because this actually marks the moment that when one starts going back home, back to Godhead in earnest. I think that's a good way to put it. Of course, Rohini's present life has been auspicious from day one. What is that verse from the Gita? Prapya punya kritam lokan sitva shasvatai shama. I got it right? Suchinam shrimmatam gehe yoga brashta bijayate. The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. But we can take it one step further. Atava yoginam eva kule bhavati, what is it, dimatam, etad di durlabhataram lokajanma yadisharam. Or he, or in this case she, takes birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Damodar gives good lectures. Certainly, Krishna says, certainly such a birth is rare in this world. So we say that this is the beginning of spiritual life in earnest, but who knows for how many births Rohini's been a very sincere devotee of the Lord. And it's indicative, I think, that she took birth in this family because Damodar and Radha Priya and the extended family are all such wonderful devotees, extended family. And Rohini, they've raised you in an exemplary way. So therefore we see that today you're a serious sadhaka. You like to chant your rounds. You remind me of Rasarani Priya, Sitala's daughter. She hasn't missed her 16 rounds since the day she got initiated. And that says something, especially on the tour, because it's so intense. And you've also touched the heart of your parents by that dedication to chanting the mantra. And you've done that because, well, you're a mature Vaishnavi now. I think I met you when you were a little girl. You had other things to do. But now you have a very strong desire to take initiation into a Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And we all know how you've been waiting for this moment. For a number of reasons, we've had to postpone your initiation, and you were worrying if it's going to happen, if I remember you. You said to your mom, how could I forget you? You're one of the tour devotees. You know, I invited you on the tour and you came and it's like, wow, where am I? I want to go home. But you stuck to it and now you'll never leave us. It's a special preaching arm of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement, and you got initiated into that, you could say, by sticking it out. There's a saying, many are called, but few are chosen. So you're one of the chosen ones. You're a tour devotee. So you wanted this initiation very badly. And rightfully so. There's a mantra that Prabhupada used a few times. Durabe sa gurunam cha sakrit sangha upastite tadanucha yadlabdha sadikshavarasho mahan. It's one of my favorite verses. If by chance one gets a guru, it doesn't matter whether one is in the temple or the forest. If the guru, the bona fide spiritual master, agrees, one can be initiated immediately without waiting for a suitable time or place. That's how important this ceremony is. Because really this ceremony stops us in our tracks. You know, Ramanda Brahmati Kaunya Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasad, Payi Bhakti Lad Bij. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we've learned our history. We don't have to go to a website and learn about our ancestral history, we can hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita that we've been wandering in the material creation since time immemorial, going from one universe to the next, one species of life to the next, one body to the next. That's been our horrible history. But Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lakta Bij, somehow Krishna intervened. He knows our hearts. He saw a little desire there. I'm frustrated with this material existence. Please, God, help me. So then he sends his representatives, and yes, they take us on board. So I kind of came in late. I think you're in your 20s. I came in late. All the training, all the encouragement, all the help, it's come from your mom and dad, really. And your temple authorities, you know, Ajita Prabhu, and so many also my God brothers and God sisters have inspired you. So really, after all the work your parents have done, I just kind of feel like I'm adding the finishing touches on a painting. Like a painting's almost finished, but there has to be some finery there. We have to go to finishing school. In British culture in the old days, the Victorian age, the girls would go to finishing school. So I've been called in at this point. Krishna sent me, or he sent you to me, I feel, because you're doing such wonderful service for my preaching. He sent you to me. So I'm just doing the finishing school here. So everyone's excited in their own way. I'm excited as your guru, and your parents are excited as your parents, and Sitala's excited because she's seen you grow up, and, you know, Lalita, Radea, Narottam, they all know you very well. So everyone's really happy today because this is the day you've made a turnaround, and you're definitely going back home, back to Godhead. So it's happy days. There's a saying like that in America. Oh, happy days. After the Depression, people were saying, oh, happy days are here again. That's a joke. The material life just repeats itself. Happiness and distress, happiness and distress, happiness and distress. But Krishna consciousness is in a spiritual awakening where we're gradually, inch by inch, going back to Godhead. And we don't have to wait for the end result. Every step, there's something wonderful we discover. Just from the moment we walk in the temple, we get in the Sankirtan van, we're on our way to Sankirtan. Every day it's something's new and fresh and enjoyable. So it's joyful, but because essentially initiation means turning our backs on material life, having realized the futility of material existence and the positive alternative of devotional service, you could say we're walking away from material life. Not in an irresponsible way. We go on with our education, we go on with our career, just like your father's done. He's provided so nice for that family while being a devotee. We keep our social duties, and our hearts are with Krishna. We're looking forward to going home back to Godhead. So the joyful ceremony also has a serious mood to it as well. And that's why we give a lecture, so we can focus on exactly what's happening. This is also a serious ceremony because we're saying no to material life. Just like in my country, they had they still do, but they had a big problem with the youth taking drugs, I think in the 1980s or 90s, and the president of the country, I think at that time it was Ronald Reagan, he started a campaign against drugs, especially aimed at the youth. So they had a motto for that drug campaign, because sometimes it's easy to remember things when the shlokas are, sutras, like Vedanta Sutra, sutras. So the sutra was to the young people, just say no. When the drug pusher comes up and he's tempting you with marijuana or amphetamines or heroin, no. So what can he do? He's got to go away. So at what point do we initiate a candidate? We don't expect them to be pure devotees. Who comes to this movement pure? But we expect them to be able to say no to our material desires, to our gross material desires. No more meat eating, no more intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. But everything else was well. And finally, towards the end of our life, we have no problem saying no, because we see our material life just cheated us. It was all an hallucination. Like a magician creates something that looks real, but if you know the trick, I'm not interested in watching anymore. So at a young age, at such a young age, Rohini, you have the courage to say no. So therefore, we're granting you initiation, which is no small thing. In Vedic culture, it's, you could say, the most important moment in your life. Because again, it's that point where you're saying no, and you're turning your back on material life, and you're turning back to Krishna. When we turn our back on Krishna, we just see the shadow of material existence. But when we turn our back on material existence, we see the effulgent, supreme personality of Godhead. So, congratulations. This is a serious thing. You're taking vows that even the devatas won't take. Seriously. With all due respect to the devatas, I don't want to get in trouble with the devatas. But yeah, when Bhishma Dev, his name was, I think, Devarat, he was the son of a king, and he took a vow in front of his father, I shall not marry. It's a long story, but I shall remain celibate. So when he took that vow to remain celibate, the devatas, they gave him that name, Bhishma. They were saying, Bhishma, how horrible. How horrible you've taken that vow of celibacy. Because although they're devotees, they're great devotees, their devotion is mixed with some strong material desires. So if they see a Vaishnava on this planet taking those vows of no illicit sex, sex is there, of course, in marriage for bringing forth saints, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. But there's a little nonsense going on up there in the heavenly planets. So they heard, oh, how horrible. So the devatas honor the Vaishnavas and the Vaishnavis on this planet for their vows to turn their back on the so-called pleasures of this world. And actually, we've heard that those devatas, many are sincere because there's Vaishnavas preaching up there. Vaishnavas are everywhere preaching, even in hell. They're so merciful. So some demigods, they've heard the truth, the whole truth and nothing but truth. So they want to take birth on the earth, which is considered inferior to Svargaloka because of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement and how it's delivering the people of Kali Yuga. It's such an exciting thing, such a wonderful a Leela or adventure of the Supreme Lord. They want to come and become like you. Take Krishna consciousness seriously. So because we've seen that in you, you're shy and you're very chaste and you're enthusiastic and you want to render service to your guru and you have faith in your guru. Like we have faith in our friends because they're devotees. We have faith in our Gurukul teachers because they're devotees teaching us what we need to know about this practical world. We have a particular faith in our dad. We have a particular faith in our mom because we've seen the wonderful example they've set. And we have another faith in our guru, Guru Nishta. And that's a wonderful quality. And because I've seen that you have that faith in me as Prabhupada's representative, then I'm very happy to be the conduit. Conduit means like how the mercy flows to you. Like there's a wire outside, it fell from the pole, you know, and you touch it, you get all the electricity. So the guru is the conduit. It almost sounds like a French word. He's the person to whom we get the connection to Krishna through the Guru Parampara. Just like sometimes devotees say, oh, I wish I was there when Prabhupada was there, I could take initiation from Prabhupada. Okay, but there's no less mercy taking initiation from Prabhupada's spiritual descendants, from his disciples, or later when my disciples initiate, or their disciples. It doesn't get weak in the mercy. Just like the power lines going from, you know, from London to New York under the sea. So anywhere you connect into it, you get the same power that's there in London, where it arises, or in New York as it arises in London. That's the Guru Parampara. So essentially we're connecting you to Prabhupada's lotus feet. That's how I see it. Prabhupada is that master at whose feet all masters sit. So he will deliver us all back to Godhead. So my responsibility is to take you to Prabhupada, and this is what it means to be servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. So you're taking some pretty serious vows today. Out of the 7 billion people on this planet, there's only a handful who would do that. So I'm probably embarrassing you by speaking like this, but I want to encourage you to keep going on. Because there's so much more ahead. But we have to sacrifice for that. We have to sacrifice whatever desires are left in our heart to get the full mercy of our previous acharyas, Mahaprabhu, Nitai, and Krishna. We've done pretty good so far. Just like when little Mirabai took her first steps. Whoa! Lalita Narottam, oh, she took her first step. Okay, but that's not enough. You got to go to high school. You've got to grow up and go to university. You got to run the gauntlet of material life. So, so you're doing good, but we want you to do better. And we will keep an eye on you. So, but you've realized at such a young age that the futility of this world, just by hearing, basically. You've understood that. And that's what Chanaka Pandit is trying to remind us. Dvaja dujana samsargam, he says. Bhaja sadhu samagamam. Kuru punya mahoratram. Shmara nityam anityatam. Can I see them? Oh, okay. He says, give up the association of evil persons. Bhaja sadhu samagamam. Partake always of the association of saintly persons. Kuru punya mahoratram. Perform pious deeds both day and night. And then shmara nityam anityatam. I love that part. Always remember the flickering nature of this world. Even as you grow up, you may be tempted. The devil may tempt you. Maya may tempt you. But see beyond that with your intelligence. There's the senses, there's the mind. But above the mind is the discriminating power of the intelligence. And although our hearts may go to something in this world, our mind may convince us, yes, we have always have the discriminating power of the intelligence. And even if with your intelligence you can't perceive that it's wrong, then you take shelter of that person who's given you shelter, your spiritual master. He's your intelligence. I see Prabhupada as my intelligence. What intelligence do I have? Look where I am. I came to the material world. So what a fool I am. So my intelligence is my guru. If the guru says that the rope's a snake, it's a snake. If he says the snake's a rope, it's a rope. That's how much faith I have in my spiritual master. Of course, he would always identify it as what it is, but I'm just giving the analogy. So if some temptation comes, because sometimes Maya, she wants to test us. Do you really want to come back to Godhead? All right, look at this. And sometimes we fall to temptation. But we pick ourselves up and we continue on. But when we learn the lesson, we don't have to learn that lesson twice. Best never to have to learn that lesson, but even if we have to learn it 2 or 3 times, we should become convinced. But if we always hear from our guru and our Shiksha gurus, your father's a very good preacher, your mother's an experienced devotee. I've heard her say some amazing things. She's so dedicated. She's one of my top 5 cooks in the world. Okay, 3. And she's just such a wonderful person to be around. So loving and serving the devotees so nicely. And she's also my spiritual daughter. So how can we always remember the flickering nature of this material world? Well, just open your eyes and look out the window. Whoever we are in this world, we've been rudely awakened. I was speaking with Mother Sitala recently. We were saying how, our ancestors, there was a calamity all the time. Famines, floods, world wars, smallpox. These are horrible things. People live side by side. For the last 50 years, it's been kind of like a bubble. And we're all like, oh my God, why is this happening? Well, it happens, Allah. Happiness, distress, heat and cold, they come and go. So we're kind of spoiled. So we've had a rude awakening. Shmara nityam anityam yatam. COVID-19. I didn't want to mention the name. It's like, who wants to say Kumbhakarna and Ravana and Shishupal? COVID, it's a pandemic. But we are able to deal with it because when people run outside to get away from it and get some relief from being locked down, no, we go inside. We go to our room, we lock the door and we chant Hare Krishna. Or we listen to Prabhupada, or we watch one of Gurudev's seminars for what they're worth. But it's bad, and I think it's going to get worse. Because the world has a price to pay. I don't say it publicly. I've never said it in a lecture, but there's a lot of sin going on in this world. Poor animals, children in the womb. We don't want to go into details, but yeah, there's a price to pay. So when that purification's finished, we'll come back out. We'll be purified. People will be ready to hear us more, and we'll get back on the Polish tour. Rohini, you can do your acrobatic silk acts, which I love. So however dismal the situation will become in future pandemics, the thing is that there's always hope in Krishna consciousness. If only because Krishna promises us in Bhagavad Gita that if one takes up this process of devotional service, we get the panacea for all problems. What's that? A COVID-19 vaccination? Yeah, well, that'll help. Hurry up, you guys. But what's the panacea? Panacea is a strong word. It means something that cures everything. Like they wiped out smallpox, polio. So that's a type of panacea. But what's the panacea for all this nonsense in the world? Bhaktimam abhijananti, yavanyas jasmi tatvataha. Tatonam tatvato janva, vishite tad anantaram. Krishna says, one can understand me as I am only through the process of devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me, through such devotional service, he, she, you can enter the kingdom of God. So that's the heart, that's our heartbeat. We have so many things we need to do and we should do in this world. But what's the heartbeat? Back home, back to Godhead. That's a serious devotee. They'll go through life and yes, and no, how are you doing? And thank you for the paycheck, and buy this and that, and mow the lawn. But if you could look into their heart, kaboom, kaboom. Like when Prabhupada was walking on the Stinson Beach, where I used to surf, He was walking, I should have been in Simpson Beach when Bravo came there. The waves were crashing, the pretty big waves there, I can tell you, San Francisco. And someone said, Prabhupada, listen to that, those waves breaking. And what does it sound like to you? And Prabhupada said, oh, that's the sound of the gopis' heartbeats in separation from Krishna. That's how we carry our, of course, we're not gopis, we don't want to jump ahead, but in the beginning, we also need a strong desire to serve Krishna. That we learn by living with devotees whom we love, and we want to serve them. We learn that by serving our spiritual master because we see what precious results come, realizations. Oh yes, it's like he said in the lecture. The Gyan becomes Vigyan by seva to the Guru. Tadvidi paripatena pariprashana sevaya. That we inquire, we act, and then through sevaya comes realization. So this is how we evolve in Krishna consciousness. Hari Guru Vaishnava. We have many people lifting us up. But this is needed. This particular ceremony is needed to come into the family of God, or to re-enter the family of God. That's why this ceremony is it's been compared to second birth. Janame janame sabe pita mata paya Krishna Guru nahi mile bhaja hariye. Every entity, every bug, every whatever, gets a mother and father, birth after birth after birth. But if one gets the benedictions of Guru and Krishna, he or she can conquer the material energy and return back to Godhead by the mercy of the Lord. So this is your spiritual birthday. Now you have 2 birthdays you can celebrate. And you can celebrate your material birthday. Because look at the family you took birth into. I used to tell devotees, don't celebrate your birthdays. But then I read by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said devotees' birthdays should be celebrated. Because they're Vaishnavas, they're doing good for the world. So when Balaram's appearance day comes, you can celebrate. Of course, there's a difference between the calculation, of the day that you took birth, what we say the normal calendar year, and the spiritual calendar that we use in Krishna consciousness. But I would say that devotees should celebrate, well, if you have a birth like you on Balaram's appearance day, then I would celebrate on Balaram's appearance day. That's up to your mom and dad. So the spiritual birth, let's just talk about it for a few minutes, because that's what's happening here. What is happening? Is it just a talk by the Guru and a new name and the fire again? No, it's much, much more deep than that. Just like in the material world, it begins when the father plants the seed of life into the womb of his wife. And in Krishna consciousness, it begins when the spiritual master awakens the seed, the Bhakti Lata Bij, in the heart of the disciple at the moment of initiation. He's not actually planting the seed, but that seed's already there. It never left. Even when we were in lower forms of life, that seed was there, but it was covered. So Krishna consciousness is a process of awakening the prema that's already in the heart, the seed there, watering the seed by giving the mantra, the Maha Mantra. And this is how the Guru awakens that seed of love of Krishna in the heart. He does that by sound vibration. Like the material father plants the seed in the womb of the mother, so the Guru, he waters the seed of bhakti in the heart of the disciple by speaking about Krishna consciousness. What's the main duty of the Guru? To speak. That's his main. Brahmanas are meant to, that's what they do. They sit all day and they talk. That's why they've got big bellies. They don't exercise. It's not a criticism, it's an observation. In Vedic culture, Brahmins had big bellies. Even you go to the temples in India, you see, they're serving, but they're eating well the Maha. Basically, a Brahmin He's the mouthpiece of Vedic knowledge. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahman Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya. That's why he's given some respect, because, well, what's respectful about him is that he's repeating that knowledge with as much realization as he can muster. So this is our connection with our guru. And traditionally, the guru speaks the mantra into the right ear of the disciple. And then the disciple wakes up. What kind of wake up? Well, we're in different types of sleeping conditions. We take a nap, like every day here in India. It is so hot. I have never experienced heat like this. Some days at almost 50. So here in India in the afternoon, we take a nap. And then there's normal sleep. Then there's deep sleep. And then sometimes people go into comas. There's an accident or something, go to coma. But there's even a deeper sleep. It's the complete ignorance of who we are and who is God and what is our relationship with him. We're also forgetful. And that type of sleep, that's addressed by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jeev jago, Gora Chandra Bole, Kota Nidra Jayo Maya, Pisa Chira Koli. Pisa Chira, she's the witch. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? So you can wake me up from my nap by saying, Rudy, I have time for lunch. Oh, okay, I'm hungry. You can wake a sleeping man up with an alarm clock. You can wake up a man from an operation. They give a little drug to wake you up from the anesthesia. How do you wake up someone who's in the deepest coma of forgetfulness of God? Through sound? Okay, we'll just ring the bells and no. You just have to whisper into the ear. Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound. We worship that Shabda Brahma. Mantras. Prabhupada, I heard a tape recently, Prabhupada said, the beauty of Kali Yuga is that jewels and mantras don't lose their potency. I heard him say that. Jewels and mantras don't lose their potency. Like deities, we never think a deity loses potency. This is a Shalagram Shila necklace that was given to me by a sadhu at Badrinath. He wore this many years. These are all shalagrams. And this is a sacred necklace of Dwarka Shilas. We worship Shalagram along with Dwarka because the potency of the worship of Shalagram is increased by the Dwarka Shilas. So I wear these two necklaces. And I never think, oh, they ever lose their potency. Their potency is always there, doesn't even need to be installed, the deity. So we don't have to install the Maha Mantra. Namad Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. There's no difference between Krishna, our Krishna, Prabhupada said sometimes, and the sound of his name. And that's why Prabhupada said when you're chanting Hare Krishna, the Lord is dancing on the tip of your tongue. It's poetic, but it's a fact. So the mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra is always beneficial. Even why do we go in Sankirtan? Because all the fallen people get to hear it and they get some agata sukriti, some unknown benefit. Cleansing the heart, conquering material desire, but to get prema, to get Braj prema, Vrindavan prema, like the love the Brajabasis have for Krishna, for Radha. You have to get that mantra in your ear from a bona fide representative of Krishna. Sometimes I see online, people chanting, they have the bhajans, with all due respect, the yoga groups, and they're chanting to Shiva and Ganesh and Krishna. I'm thinking that's nice, but I'm thinking, oh, you poor souls, just come to an ISKCON temple, surrender, and get the supreme blessing. We all want blessings, but if you get the supreme blessing, you've got everything else. The supreme blessing that on your initiation day, your guru initiates you into this mantra. And from then, that begins your path back home, back to Godhead in earnest. You'll see, Rohini, when you start chanting tomorrow, there's something special. You'll become mad after this chanting one day. So that's the benefit. We wake up like a materialistic person. He wakes up and they go to school, they go to work. What kind of a wake up do we have? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kamu Maya Shravanari Shuta Chite Kariye Udaya. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of the living entities. It's not something that we gain from another source. It's already there. When the heart is purified, how does it go? When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens. This is a very natural process. That's why it's so nice. It's not artificial. Of course, there's some austerity. We can't take grains on Ekadasi. And Janmashtami and Radhastami, and we fast and whatever. But that pales in comparison to the realizations that we get as we chant more and more. Of course, it takes time to wake up. That's why Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he gives a whole 2 paragraphs on patience. Even when you wake up in the morning, it takes time for your eyes to adjust to the light. So it takes time to come to the stage of perfection in Krishna consciousness. But we're patient. Some Vaishnava sects in India, the guru supposedly reveals to the disciple at the moment of initiation that disciple's swarup, his siddhadeha. What is his relationship to Krishna? I think that's bona fide in previous times amongst some circles of sadhus, but that is not sanctioned by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's not time and place and circumstance. It doesn't happen like that. Or Ramakrishna, who Prabhupada said his teachings took all of Bengal to hell because they just worshipped, Durga, with all due respect to Durga. She's an expansion of Puramasi. But Ramakrishna touched Vivekananda, his disciple, and apparently transferred all his spiritual powers to Vivekananda. That's not how it works. You got to sit down every day. Best times in the morning. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. And read and hear. Find time. Prabhupada said, if you got time, chant Hare Krishna. Well, you better make time, because life is short and then you die. Our process is pure. First there's purification, then there's revelation. Our Prabhupada said it so nicely, work now, samadhi later. Our process is good sadhan, sharing a good fortune with others, and from that everything will come. We don't even worry about our own deliverance. Initiation means that your guru is at least pull you up a few inches above the ocean of material existence. That's a lot. Like you're drowning in the ocean, somebody pulls you into the boat 1 meter above the water, that says a lot. You may be not home, but thank God that we're above the ocean of material existence by remaining strict in Krishna consciousness. So we don't worry. We'll get our revelation. Bhakti Churu Maharaj, all glories to Bhakti Churu Maharaj, told me one time, we were taking a walk in Mayapur. He said he was in the room in Vrindavan with Prabhupada in 1974 when a devotee asked Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, when you leave this world, or if you leave this world before me, how will I realize my spiritual identity? You won't be here to tell me. So Maharaj said, Prabhupada's reply was, don't worry about your swarup. When the time comes, I will personally come and reveal your swarup. For now, just follow the authorized process. But we don't have anything to worry about. Prabhupada very kindly told me, so much endeavor in this material world. But when I take you back home, back to Godhead, everything will be easy and sublime. So I just go on. So much endeavor in this material world. Sometimes it's difficult to get out of bed in the morning. It's so cold, or this or that, or we have to go on Sankirtan, or this. No problem. When I take you back home, back to God, everything will be easy and simple. And we can wait. We can wait to the point that we can fulfill all of Prabhupada's desires in this world. You don't ask for something else when you haven't fulfilled the desire, the first instruction of your master. Fulfill that, then you can ask for more. So we have a lot of work to do to spread the Krishna consciousness movement in the 14 worlds. So because this sound, Hare Krishna, gives us so much, we consider it our greatest treasure. You value something by how much you gain from it. So these three words, Hare Krishna and Rama, all the sin goes away, the material desires, they curl up in embarrassment and disappear. And ultimately, one day we get prema. What kind of prema? Braj prema. Generally, people worship the Lord in the mood of awe and reverence, which is nice. But we desire that Braj prema we've been hearing about in the last few months by relating the pastimes of Krishna here in Vrindavan. That sweet, innocent exchange between the Lord and his devotee. Vrindavan Leela, where Krishna appears to be equal to his devotee. He's not, but he allows that, so there can be some intimacy. Just like Madhu Mangal, that funny cowherd boy. I was just reading this morning. He said to Krishna, Krishna, you're a Vaishya. You take care of cows, and I'm a Brahmin. You should be respecting me. That's Braj. Krishna said, well, but you see, Madhu Mangal, more important than birth are one's deeds and one's activities. So you look at my activities as a Vaishya, they're simply extraordinary. You must recognize that I'm also a very great personality. Madhu Mangal, he laughed and he said, Krishna, you've just become conceited. No, Krishna said, no, it's true. I've done some amazing things. When I was 7 years old, when I was just a very young boy, actually I was 7 days old. Old Putana came to kill me and I killed her. You see, Madhu Mangal, I was 7 days old. Then I killed Trinivarta. Then I subdued Kaliya. And when I was only 7 years old, I lifted the big mountain, Giri Govardhan. These are my super excellent activities. You must recognize me, not by my birth as a Vaishya, but my activities. So in joking fun, Madhu Mangal, he said, as far as Putin is concerned, it is said that the demigods protect the children and old people. So we all know that it was the demigods who actually killed Putana, Krishna. You can't take credit for it. As for lifting Giri Govardhan, well, Nanda Maharaj, Balaram, and all the coward men, they were propping up Giri Govardhan with their sticks. So you can't take the whole credit. And as far as subduing Kali is concerned, you were finished. You were practically dead. Everyone saw. Your bluish complexion became even darker due to his poison, and you were in his coils. Seeing you like that, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, and everybody fainted. And therefore I took pity on everybody, and I chanted a Brahminical mantra to subdue a serpent. And as a result, Kali became so frightened that he released you from his coils. Then you jumped up on his head and you started dancing as if you'd done a good job. So then Krishna said, oh, I see. So Madhu Mangal, please accept my humble obeisances. This is Braj. And this is a very exalted goal. We're hoping we can go home one day to Braj. And the other day I gave a quote from Prabhupada that he was saying that our process is not for meeting Krishna, our process is for feeling separation from Krishna. So he's expecting us one day. So this mantra can give us that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You have to protect it, just like a person protects his treasure chest. So how do we protect that mantra? By following the 4 rules: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. That's how we protect that mantra. And in our chanting, we try to avoid the 10 offenses. They're supposed to be repeated at every initiation, so we will repeat them. The 10 offenses are to blaspheme devotees who have dedicated their lives to the propagation of Krishna consciousness, to consider the names of demigods to be equal to Krishna's name, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master, to blaspheme Vedic scriptures, to give some interpretation on the glories of the holy names, to consider the chanting of the glories of chanting the holy names imagination, to commit sin on the strength of chanting, to consider chanting Hare Krishna to be like the ritualistic performances of the Vedas, to teach the deeper glories of the holy names to non-devotees, to remain attached to the material concept of life after chanting. Those are the 10. And Jiva Goswami gives an 11th offense: to be inattentive while chanting, to be chanting with my beads in my right hand and my cell phone in my left hand. That's the most serious, because by doing that, we unconsciously commit the other offenses. So because you're getting this mantra now and you're going to be running back home, back to Godhead, consider this mantra your main business. It's all we really have in the end. We come in this world with nothing and we leave with nothing, but by Prabhupada's grace, we're going to leave with this mantra, because one time my god sister, Sukha Sajari, Sitala will remember her, wonderful devotee. I can see her clearly now as a young girl, teenager. She got initiated and then she lost her initiation beads. So she wrote to Prabhupada with another set of beads, if he could chant on those beads. So Prabhupada wrote to her, this is the last time I'm going to chant on someone's beads. So many beads are coming. Please consider that when you get the Maha Mantra at the moment of initiation, Prabhupada said, it's an eternal blessing. He said, these beads, those beads. But the chanting's an eternal blessing. So when you leave this world, you'll be, in your mind, you'll be chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama. I have one very sweet disciple. She's leaving this world. She has cancer. She's 21 or 22 years old. So we're helping her come to that point. You know, hearing Bhagavatam, hearing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and conquering her fears, and, you know, knowing that as we evolve in Krishna consciousness, it only gets better. But the real thing is to hold on to that mantra, like you're leaving this world and no one can see you, but in your mind, that mantra is there. It'll always be there for us, eternally, in our next life as well. Or if we go back to Godhead, we'll be with the Brajabasis chanting. So it's our everything, everything. So I'm very happy to serve your parents and serve your community and serve this movement by connecting you to the Guru Parampara. I promise you that as you're taking your vows today, I also take a vow in my heart that I won't rest until you're in the Lord's arms. That's my promise to you. This is my most important service. As I've said during the Vyasa Pujas, people know me for something, but really this is my most important service. So I take it just like your father has taken it so seriously to raise you to be the wonderful person you are, that your mother has raised you to be the wonderful person that you are. So I will take my responsibility as your spiritual father to make sure that one day that we'll all be together in the groves of Sri Vrindavan Dham. That's my promise to you. That debt cannot be repaid, but you can try by taking on my mood as your spiritual master, the mood I inherited from Prabhupada. There's many moods Prabhupada gave his disciples, but my mood is that preach boldly and have faith in the holy names. So you're a girl, but you've shown so nicely how you participate in the Polish tour, your artistry, your talents help us in so many ways. And as you grow older, as the years go on, it will become clear to you how to continue spreading this movement. It has to go on for 10,000 years. So when you're my age, 71, you'll be a wise Mataji. And you'll also, your heartbeat will also be going boom, boom, how to spread the movement. Krishna will give you the intelligence how to preach. This is what I want my disciples to inherit, this preaching mood, because this is ISKCON. ISKCON's a missionary movement. And you are not an honorary member, you are a veteran of the Polish Festival Tour, a title you earned by penance and austerity, sleeping in a crowded room with 43 girls, getting up, Kitri Prashadam in the morning, heavy, practicing all day, going on Harinam, coming back at midnight. But you love it. Therefore, we're giving you initiation. So, yes, be happy. Keep that sobriety by not getting tricked by Maya. And chant and give the chanting to others. In his purports to the Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati writes, and I conclude this talk. He says, in the teachings of Sriman Mahaprabhu, there are only two principal instructions. Develop a taste for chanting the holy names and display compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Hare Krishna Rohini, Rohini's family, the community at New Govardhan, the Australian Yatra, worldwide ISKCON. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada, back home, back to Godhead. Ki Shri Brajabhumi, Shri Vrindavan Dham, Ki Shri Mayapur Dham, Ki Oh Premanandi, Jai Jai Sisi Radhe Shama. Thank you. Maybe I went on a little bit long, but it's an expression of my affection for you, because I know that you're already a good disciple and you're just going to get better and better. So I want to give a lot of time, a lot of sound vibration into your heart. And your initiation lecture is such an important lecture. You can go back and hear it again and again and again throughout your life, because these are eternal instructions. So now is one of the special moments in the initiation ceremony where the disciple comes forth and they make their vows. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling, and chanting 16 rounds a day. So we would like to hear from you, maybe Ananta Vrindavan, and thank you, Ananta, for so nicely setting everything up today. I think there's a lot of devotees are celebrating your spiritual birth today, watching. A lot of tour devotees, your blood, your kin, they're watching. So we'll maybe ask Ananta if he can put the camera in front of you. Is that possible, Ananta? Are you there, Ananta?
Yeah, we're there.
Okay, there you go. Can I see this? Okay, hold on. I want to get my shot here too.
Is it better?
Okay, see you. So, my dear Rohini, what are the 4 rules and regulations that you promise to follow for the rest of your life?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling.
Let somebody encourage you in the background there. So thank you. And how many rounds of the Maha Mantra will you chant every day for the rest of your life?
At least 16 at minimum.
A minimum of 16 rounds every day.
Haribo!
So you've taken those vows and the demigods fainted in disbelief. But all the Vaishnavas, they're dancing in ecstasy for you. So I wanted to say from the official point of view that I'm very happy today to accept you as my fully initiated disciple. And I will do everything within my power to bring you to the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, who will take us to the lotus feet of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who will take us to the lotus feet of Gorkashore Das Babaji, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. You're going to get a lot of mercy. I know you're going to how to handle it all. You'll feel a lot of mercy. And the more you give mercy, the more you'll get mercy. That's the spiritual mathematics. So like this, we're in an eternal bond of Krishna consciousness. One day we'll have our ISKCON in the spiritual sky. So traditionally, a name is given at the moment of initiation. Sometimes we change the name, but we don't want to do that because we just know you as Rohini. And how would I dare change that name? You were born on Balaram's appearance day. And your mom said no. And you know how much I love your parents and honor them. So this is a family matter. This actually what's happening here is I've become part of your family. You can see it like that. We've all become part of the greater family of Prabhupada and Krishna. But I can get away with it saying that I'm part of your family now. So I'm not going to change the name, but I'm going to add something to your name, as I saw Prabhupada also do. So from this day forth, you shall be known as Rohini Gopika Devi Dasi. Rohini Gopika. Gopika is a Gopika. So probably I'm just going to call you Gopika. I was going to keep calling you Rohini. Sometimes I insist, when you get the spiritual name, they should call you the whole name. Like in Australia, they kind of cut things short, like whatever. You know how they do, the Australians, with all due respect. I'm always going to call you Rohini Gopika. I love that name. It's a very Braj name. And you know that I'm aspiring for that transcendental abode. So we'll work together to get you home. So Hare Krishna. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You're initiated Vaishnavi. It's an amazing thing. We're so happy for you. Mom's cooked a feast. I don't get to enjoy it because of this rascal virus. But I'll ask my cook to cook on behalf of your mother. And I'll take a little, I'm very strict these days with what I eat, but I'll take a feast today as well. Okay. And let's go outside now. We're going to have the fire yajna. This is the new norm. What do they call it in society? The new normal or something? We do fire yajnas by distance. This is real social distancing, but also it's brought us together. So this will be a complete initiation ceremony. There's no need for you to sit into another fire yajna. This will be your fire yajna. And you will sit there, and when I say svaha in your mind, you will throw the grains. But you will say svaha, and when we stand up to put the banana in the fire, in your mind, manasa puja, you will put the banana in the fire, and that will complete the ceremony. So it's a little warm outside. It's 38 degrees. And I'll be in the bright sun, but I'm doing this out of love for you. Let's go. Give me a few minutes just to set up there, and we'll continue. So we're going to bring the cameras outside. So give us a couple minutes. Rohini Gopika Devi Dasi K.
Take a couple of pictures with the family.
Yeah.
Balaram. Sorry.
say to that?
Where you guys going?
Where are you going? Just sit there.
Prabhu, can you squeeze a bit closer?
Who else is there? Oh, Mirabai.
She's
She's busy.
Where is Mary?
She's in
The guru stole the marrow. Okay, well, I'm taking photos, as many as I can, pressing the button, so this is all photos coming, and then just he needs to smile and, you know, yeah.
Love you.
Okay, so I'm taking the photos. None of them will come
This
out
was
okay. so
bugging me the whole time. I was just.
all of them will be deleted, so you'll never see them, so don't. Yeah, you may never see them again. So you don't
No,
need
until
to
you just,
smile.
you're
You
fabulous.
don't need to smile.
So what's happening? It's on pause.
He's setting up the
He's on
camera.
pause. I'm gonna move this camera a little bit.
Is it still going live on YouTube?
They're
Probably.
gonna move the whole setup too.
Do you want to move it?
So I think we still have a
Look,
recording.
they're moving it.
Recording on, so maybe we can chant a little bit.
Yeah,
because the
come on,
YouTube
kirtan.
is still
Yeah.
on.
Oh, yeah. Photo shoot.
Yeah, maybe we can bring her on there because there's no Miyagi here. So.
I don't play harmonium.
Oh, you don't play. Sorry. So you want just, I want you, everyone be in the camera, so you can squeeze next to. Yes, thank you. Brandon, what do you make all my fences? Because it goes on YouTube, so.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
So we're waiting for them to get ready, so just like.
Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande. Maharaj is muted somehow.
Maharaji, can you unmute your mic? Your mic? Можешь unmute your mic? You muted.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Shri Vrindavan Dham ki. So, Rohini Gopika, can you hear me? All right, so this is a bit of an internal ceremony today as well. When I chant finish the mantras, I'll say Swaha, and you can throw the grains in, and we'll throw some grains in here as well. Om Agyan Timirandasya Ganangana Shalakaya Chaksun Meritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gudave Namaha Swaha 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 Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Shrapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapatantikam Swaha 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 Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagritatam Sahagana Laganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Scha Swaha 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 Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Swaha 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 Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Divishesha Shunyavadi Ashtacha Deshatarine Swaha 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 Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Swaha 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 Shri Bharshabani Devi Daitaya Kripadhaye Krishna Shambanda Vikina Dhaine Prabhave Namaha Swaha 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 Madhutvala Prematya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostate Swaha 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 Namaste Gauravani Shrimurtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasadanta Dvanta Harine Swaha 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 Namo Gorakishora Sakshat Vairagyamurtaye Vipralamba Rasambhode Parumbujaya Te Namaha Swaha 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 Namo Bhaktivinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gora Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Swaha 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 Gora Virbhava Bhumeshtvam Yudeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Swaha 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 Vanchakalpaturubhyascha Kripasinubha evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Swaha 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 Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur Tushe Namaha Swaha 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 Panchatatatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Swaha 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 Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Swaha 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 Jayatam Shurato Pangor Mama Manda Matergati Matsarvashva Padam Bojo Radhamada Radhamadan Mahano Swaha Swaha Swaha. We have a transcendental delay here. Divyat Bindaranya Kalpadrumada Shrimad Ratnagara Simhasana Shto Shrimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Preshtalabi Sedimano Smarami Swaha 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 Shrimad Rasa Rasambi Vamsi Vata Tatashvita Karshan Venu Shvanaya Gopir Gopinata Shuya Na Swaha 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 Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Swaha 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 Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivinoda Swaha 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Rama Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Whoa, Bimanande!
Vivo!
So now we'll all stand up. And we will chant the following mantra.
Do you want a banana? Do you want
Namo Brahmanya Devaya Gobrahmanya Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Swaha Swaha Swaha. All right, so Rohini Gopika, our Gopika, you can now mentally put your banana into this raging fire. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Bolo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare
What you telling you? Let go of them.
Jai. Jai.
Paramahansa Parivatikarya Ashtakarvati Srimad the Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Ananta Kori Vaishnava ki Nam Praya Shri Hari Ashtakur ki Tamsa Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Mukti ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopakavinash Namkun Varakun Guru Govardhan ki Bhumesh Vindavandam ki Vivaritma Padam ki Gangi Munmai ki Shri Devi ki Bhakti Maharani ki Iskan Chandra Shri ki Shri Guru Parampara ki Shri Bala Govinda Dev ki Shri Radha Rai ki Shri Gauranitai ki Krishna Balaram ki Shri Ramasunda ki Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radharani ki Initiation Day, Rohini Gopika, Devi Dasi, Hey, Gopanamande, Hari Hari Bo, Hari Hari Bo, Hari. So at this part of the ceremony, we'd like Rohini Gopika, maybe she could say a few words about the loving family and the support and inspiration and all the devotion she's received from them. If she's not too shy, she can say a few words.
That that I'm the reason I'm the way I am because of everything they've done, and I love that my life has a balance of Krishna consciousness and also, what's the other thing?
Getting your act together.
I just like that I can put everything that I've learned towards Krishna as well. And yeah, I don't know, I'm shy.
Shy. You hang from ceilings. How can you be shy?
Thank you, Srila Gurudev.
Oh, muted.
He's muted, we can't hear him.
Gurudev, you muted.
Doesn't look like it.
Unmute.
Yeah, he's unmuted. Gurudev, you muted.
Wait.
It's not
We
according
can't,
to the.
no, it is.
Awaaz, you can unmute Gurudev, please.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
He's coming.
Gauri and Mirabai, come and sit next to me. Here, sit here next to me.
Damodar,
Yes.
Jai Maharaj.
hi, well, maybe you could say a few words and RP can say a few words too. Special day.
I was prepared for this.
You're a Brahmana, Vaishnava.
So children are a real blessing, particularly when they turn out to be devotees. But I think in any case, raising a child in Krishna consciousness is a wonderful service and a wonderful sadhana. Rohini has always been a great source of sunshine in my life. Born on Lord Radharani's birthday, always sweet-natured, but she does have a fierce will, and I like the fact that she has that fierce determination because she's also got a good head on her shoulders. She applies that determination to serve Krishna, to serve the spiritual master. She's got great clarity of perception and sees what's what. So no father was ever more grateful upon seeing the character of his daughter, how she's fashioned a character. Like we have some influence, obviously, whatever values or whatever we've lived by, but it's one of the most wonderful things to see one's child develop their own mind on things, their own set of values, and the standards that they live by. Maharaj, I wanted to thank you. We're so lucky to have your sustained interest in our spiritual lives as a family. Whatever credit you want to give to us, it's very obvious that you awakened Rohini's Shraddha and have nurtured it into a firm commitment to Krishna consciousness. So we're deeply grateful to you.
Right, but we can't hear Mars.
No, he's not speaking. He's waiting for you.
Okay. Wait.
Radhapriya?
Are we on? There's no,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no
We're
photo.
on, yeah. We can't hear you.
Because we locked the screen.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so it's probably good that I did all my crying already.
Okay.
I think as soon as you started today, it was, I just felt so overwhelmed with emotion that this beautiful person that came into our life as our child is so attached to Krishna and so interested in Krishna consciousness. And I just, I feel so blessed that somehow we can offer her to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada and now yourself to guide her and take her back home, back to Godhead, and make this her last life as a conditioned soul. So I'm so grateful for that. And she's an amazing, she inspires us. The other morning she's up, she's chanting her rounds on the couch, you know, and I'm in my room and I hear her and I just was like, okay, she's now my spiritual master. And I got up and I sat next to her on the couch and chanted. And then she called Damodar. She's like, Father, we're doing a japa retreat. Come and join the japa retreat. So there we were all sitting. We had a friend staying. We were all sitting on the couch chanting our japa, iPhones put away. And it just hit me that how inspiring she is to me, how she's actually taking me she's bringing me closer to Krishna consciousness. She's making me more serious and less frivolous. And how grateful I am that, you know, on one side I've got you, I've got my father, so her grandfather as well. He's a great devotee, and you know, he's always chanting japa from the morning till the nighttime. He's got his hand in his bead bag and he's always like telling us how important it is. So somehow she's also got that mercy. And so I'm in the middle and I'm just getting like from both sides. So I'm so grateful for that. And thank you so much, Maharaj, for being a part of our family and for taking us all back home, back to Godhead. Because you said earlier that we did it. Well, I mean, maybe Damodar did, but I just did the best I could to keep her, you know, fed and clothed and out of trouble. But from the moment you gave her beads, I've never seen anyone more dedicated. And you know me, that I was not that person. And she took it on like so seriously. And now today, I'm so proud of this incredible personality that Rohini has become. And I'm so grateful. And I'm so glad I got through this without crying. So did that earlier. And we're going to teach her, you know, how to look after the deities as well. That's going to be wonderful. She'll teach me. And I just want to show this photo that we found this morning.
Take it close to the camera.
And it was like, I was like,
she was about 3, Maharaj, when you came to visit.
So, well, you met her before that, but this was one visit when you came, and I'm like, from this to now being an initiated disciple and chanting 16 rounds and so dedicated to her service to the Polish tour. Like, I've never seen anyone more dedicated. So thank you for inspiring and creating that as well, and inspiring her to be a devotee. I feel so blessed. That's all I can say. I just feel so absolutely thankful and blessed and grateful that somehow my children and my grandchildren, and you know, you are responsible for that. I mean, I saw a photo of me the other day. I'm paying dandavats in front of Srila Prabhupada. I was probably her age, Mirabai's age, and I'm still here. And it's really, so much of it is because of you. Thank you so much. Truly, thank you. And just never forget that you really like my cooking. So I can end up in Vrindavan. I can be the cook one day.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for your very sweet words on this very auspicious day. We'll conclude here because now we have to move on. We got get out of this hot sun. It's like 38 degrees out here. We're gonna get back inside and have a little lunch. And Rohini Gopika, I'll give you a call in about 30 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'll give you a call.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Srila
Thank
Prabhupada.
Bye.
Bye.
Gurudeva ki
Jai! His Holiness Indrajumna Swami Ki!
Jai!
Thank you. Haribo. Oh, he's so cute.
So what were you saying, Henry? What were you saying in terms of translation?
You're a star. Thanks for being here.